Hello, welcome, and thanks for coming by again today. Welcome to Zenful Conversations. I've been playing with, I want to say the word resistance, but the energy of resistance. I could almost feel it, this field of resistance for me. And in this energy of resistance, like I notice it even on things that I really want to do. There's a little bit of sometimes resistance around it, such as if I love massages. I think it's wonderful energy work to get. It certainly helps this physical body here. But I feel like getting it. And there's that little bit of resistance. Like, what? Even things we want, and then sometimes, any of these things, even that we want to do. So I'm fascinated by this field of resistance a little bit because it's very, very powerful to me, a very powerful force. It's just interesting to me. And what I do notice though, if I just get started on that resistance, just move forward anyway, it's like it almost disappears. I'm already in motion and it's practically not there a lot of times. So it's just very interesting because it's very powerful at first. But once they start, the energy changes for sure for me. So just noticing. And that's kind of what the message this year is for. So, about the conversation is about noticing and being present for our lives. So, thanks again for coming by, for being a part of being one of the people, one of the lights, many lights that we can be here. Welcome to Zenful Conversations. We are here in this community every single day having these conversations. And this year, we are following the Book of Awakening by Mark Nepo. The Book of Awakening by Mark Nepo, New York Times best-selling book, is described as having the life you want by being present. To the life you have. So we're really talking about being present. And we are smack in the middle of the year here. As recorded, this is July 1, 2024. Smack in the middle of the year, beginning third Q. Is this message, how's it landing? Are we observing with love and non-judgment about how present we can be for our lives? Or what's going on? Are we just realizing that the softer message this year, and maybe it just feels a little bit more meditative? Maybe you don't come by as often. Let's take a look at that. We have lost viewers for this conversation this year, no doubt. And even some of the regular people that comment as much don't comment as much. So there's some resistance, I would say, wrapped around this conversation. But we're talking about being present for our own lives. And honestly, I can't think of anything that would be a better conversation, because as I sit here, I not only have this book, but I also have this book, Top 5 Regrets of the Dying. And I look at this every day as maybe not the pages inside it, but it's a gentle reminder as I sit here. Top 5 Regrets of the Dying. And if we're present for our own lives, we're going to help not have these. This is about understanding, being present. So much is on autopilot. I do want to be present for my life. So let's see where we're at. The message today is day number 1982. (1982) is titled The Heart's Blossom. The Heart's Blossom. Oh, let's take a couple breaths. Soften the jaw, soften the breath, ears away, shoulders away from the ears. Breath a little fuller, a little softer, a little slower. And just like that, transported. Just like that. Miraculous. The heart's blossom. Courage is the heart's blossom. All courage is threshold crossing. All courage is threshold crossing. Often there's a choice to enter the burning building or not, to speak the truth or not, to stand before oneself without illusion or not. But there's another sort of courage that we're talking about here. The kind when afterwards the courageous are puzzled to be singled out as brave. They often say, I had no choice. Makes me think of, we don't know how strong we are until we have no choice. I had to run in that building to save that child. I had no choice. Or I had to quit my job or I would have died. I had no choice. Some may feel like that with a divorce. Despite all consequence, there is an inevitable honoring of what is true. And at this deep level of inner voice, it is not a summoning of will, but a following of true knowing. Oh, let's hear that again. You know, in this field of poetry that I've been blessed to stumble into and understand on a different level, and I'm sure there's many different levels to understand it, as with everything, all matter of perspective. But this true, they keep talking about what is true. It doesn't have to be good, it has to be true. And it's about getting deeper levels of this true. So let's hear this. There is an inevitable honoring of what is true. And at this deep level of inner voice, it is not a summoning of will, but a following of true knowing. Take a breath. That's powerful. It is not a summoning of will, but a following of true knowing. My own life is a trail of such following. Time and again, I have heard deep callings that felt inevitable and which I could have ignored, but only at great risk of something essential perishing. It was this honoring of what is true that guided me through my cancer experience. Saying no to brain surgery and yes to rib surgery. Saying yes to chemo and no to chemo. Each decision appeared both courageous and illogical to my doctor. Since then, I have been called heroic for surviving, which is like championing an eagle for finding its nest. So, since then, I've been called heroic for surviving. That's like championing an eagle for finding its nest. And I've been condemned as selfish for seeking the truth, capital T, which is like blaming a turtle for finding the deep. Courage of this sort is a result of being authentic. It is available to all, and its reward, far more than respect, is the opening of joy. Let's take a couple breaths with that. Take a couple breaths with that. I felt a little bit happy. Relax the jaw. Let it come in. Let it settle. Just let it settle. We don't have to be so quick to move on to the next darn thing. Let it settle. How's it feel? How does that message feel in our body? Where do you feel in your body? Courage. Courage. So that's interesting to me because I see the courage in going into the burning building for the fire and there's no choice you have, kind of. I get all that. Courage as honoring. I'm not sure I would have labeled honoring this inner voice, this deep knowing, this truth. I'm not sure I would have labeled it courage. Is that how it's? Courage of this sort is the result of being authentic. It's available to all, and its reward is the opening of joy. So the meditative exercise that we're offered today, let's stop in and breathe here. If we can close our eyes safely, I think it's a wonderful idea because we kind of block out stimulation, sensation. We're not trying to do two things at once. We can actually be with this message, be present with this message. Meditate on a decision that you are struggling with. Meditate on a decision that you are struggling with. And rather than focusing on your fear of what might or might not happen, try opening to what feels true. Let's take a couple breaths with that and see if we can feel, rather than focusing on our fear of what might happen, what might not happen, whatever the decision we're struggling with, try opening to what feels true. Without strategizing or imagining the consequences of honoring what feels true, simply let the truth as you know it rise within you. And as you move through your day, let what is true fill you, even if you don't quite understand it. So let's back up for a moment here. Rather than focusing, that decision that we're struggling with, do we have that? Do we have that in mind? What this decision that we're struggling with on any level, minor struggle, bigger struggle, this uneasy decision, whatever it may be, have it in mind. And then, not the results, not the what ifs, not the what might happen, what might not happen. No, open to what feels true. What feels true? Feeling what feels true. What does that mean? One of these writing classes, it was said, there was a prompt. The prompt was something. And the lady could only think about this guy she saw, and she thinks she's falling in love. Had nothing to do with anything else, but that's what's true. So what's true? I'm trying to write about this prompt, but I can only think of his beautiful blue eyes shining in my heart, That's true. That's what's true. So try opening to what feels true. What are you feeling? What feels true? What feels true? And then without strategizing, without imagining the consequences, all of that, without strategizing or imagining the consequences of honoring what feels true, simply let the truth as you know it rise within you. Let it have voice is what I'm hearing. Let it have voice. And as we move through our day, let what is true fill you, even if you don't quite understand it. And even if we don't quite understand it, it's just a couple words at the end of today's message, but darn, that's powerful. And here's the thing that I've noticed. One, I'm letting let loose. I don't have to quite understand it. I'm okay with that. But the further we go, the more we can see. All we have to do is make a step. Whatever this next step is right before us is the step. And then each step reveals the next step. So if we don't understand it, just moving with faith to the next step. What a nice message. Courage is the heart's blossom. The heart blossom. The heart's blossom. Deep inner voice was mentioned today. Let's see what kind of words we're talking about here in today's message. Speak the truth. Courage. Singled out as brave. They often say I had no choice. There is an inevitable honoring of what is true at this deep level of inner voice. It is not a summoning of will, but a following of true knowing. This realness, this true, is so beautiful because it's not, you just don't see it everywhere. So we could at least be it with ourselves, you know? Ooh, all right, everyone. Thanks so very much for being here and sharing in this message again. Thank you again for your support and your loving encouragement and all you do. In gratitude, always. Namaste. See you tomorrow.